Folks, welcome to World of Warships with the magnificent Margon. It has been a little over a week since I did my last video. This was actually the video I was meant to do a little over a week ago, but because me being me, I actually forgot to turn my microphone on and everything else, and it was an absolute disaster. I spent probably about an hour recording the two battle scenes that you will see, along with the 15-20 minutes or so of me just wabbling on about the ship in this screen here, and discussing the differences it is between all the other tier 7 destroyers that it actually does get matched against, more or less, and comparing them to a certain extent. I did try to make it simpler for myself, but unfortunately taking screenshots of all of the statistics over this side, it becomes logistically too hard. So we'll just do what I did last time and spend the time going over it. If you don't want to do this, you can just skip through it. If you're not interested in this part, go for it. I don't really care, but if you are interested in seeing my views and my comparisons on the ship and things like that, stick around and we'll keep going. So, the Blyskawica, as I will pronounce it, because I probably won't pronounce it properly, and I don't really care because that's how I say it, is the Polish premium ship destroyer. I bought this as I just wanted it, and I didn't realise at the time that this ship is actually a little bit tricky to play. The first battle I went into with this ship, I was caught off guard by, and reasons were I didn't look at the statistic stats over the side here. Similarly, concealment, I usually always do. I didn't this time. 7.5. I thought I'd have a better concealment range on this ship, being a premium ship, but I didn't. 7.5 isn't too bad though. The Manhan has a 7.9. I gotta click in and out of the tech tree, so bear with me. The Japanese Hatsuharu, which has got the best concealment in the game, comes to 6.7, and I believe it's the Russians are the only other ones with destroyers, and it is the Kiev at tier 7, and it's spotted at 9 kilometers, so it is the worst spotting range out of all the ships. Otherwise, the Blyskawica, the Hatsuharu, the Manhan, and the pretty well the American, the Polish, and the Japanese pretty well sit on par, with the Japanese being the best with its spotting range. Now, survivability, well, they're all about the same, 1500, 15500, 11700, so you're a little bit less, but probably upgrade the hull here. Upgrade the hull, you get an extra 2000, so you're pretty close there, and so on and so forth. So if you upgrade different stuff, we're just going off base stats at the moment. Japanese Hatsuharu, it has a 10,900. Let's have a look on here. See what it changes. It adds an extra 2,000, so it's 1,200. So it's probably got a lesser of the hit points, but the best concealment range so far. And then we have the Kiev, which is the Russian destroyer, sitting at, click on the hull here, at, come on, 1,280. So all in all, they're pretty well the same, being the normal ships, but the premium ship, the Blyskawica, actually has the better of the hit points, being a premium ship. Now we'll actually look at the armaments in which this ship does carry. Oops. So we've got the. I don't want this reset camera. Come on. Come, give it back to me. Okay. So gun-wise, 120mm guns. 1 on the front and 3 2s spread over the ship, 2 foreign and 1 stern. Torpedo armaments is a 2-3 combination, so 2 launchers with 3 tubes in each launcher. And then your torpedo range is 8 kilometers. AA, well, the AA is AA for a destroyer. It's probably not what the American destroyers eventually become. America loves to just pretty well chucked AA on every single ship. They feared what was in the sky, and they knew they had to protect themselves from what was in the sky. So there's the AA. Let's have a look at the Manhan. The Manhan, just as base, I'm not going to go in and out, has a 127mm gun. These are only 120, so a little bit less caliber, but it has a great rate of fire. And really, destroyers are not there to actually use their guns as such, except for being a nuisance and knocking on the side of another big ship saying, hello, I'm over here, I'm going to shoot your torpedoes if you come too close. That's about all you're using your guns for. American and the Polish ship, in my opinion, do use your guns a lot more. Despite the actual 7mm difference, it's the way it is. The Manhan at the moment has, though, 3 torpedo launchers, but it only has 1 central and 1 on each side, so it realistically only has a 2, but they're quad launchers with a range of 6.4 kilometers, and of course the usual AAA armament. So back here, so these have an 8 kilometer, and these actually have a 6 at base, but you do get an extended range with these torpedo tubes when you upgrade them, and the range increases to 9.2, which is better than what your concealment range is, which does come in handy. 7.9, 9.2. Go back to the Blyskawica, and I think you'll find that the 8 kilometer torpedo range is just outside the surface detectability. So you've got to play this thing, in my opinion, like a low tier American ship, and be very careful about how you do things. Compared to the Japanese Hatsuharu destroyer, well, let's have a look. Gun-wise, 127. Hatsuharu has. So, guns are pretty well the same as the American Manhan. Torpedo armament is a 2x3 configuration with a 10 kilometer range. So, it's not too bad. But the range of its torpedoes, plus the range of its spotting range, makes this a very formidable ship, and the Hatsuharu, in my opinion, would probably be the tier 7 choice so far to have as a destroyer. But that's not deterring away from the abilities in which the Blyskawica destroyer has got. It is still just as good. Surface detectability of the Kiev is 9 kilometers with a torpedo range of 4, so it is the worst. Let's see if this makes any difference. Nope, doesn't make any difference whatsoever to its torpedo range. So this thing here is pretty well, the Kiev, in my opinion, now becomes the American design sneaking up ship. So if you're not used to the idea of sailing behind islands, objects, and using your other ships to help you get to the targets, you're going to have a long and hard struggle, and I think that's the way it will be in those ships. It's great for me, for the Manhan, being at this level now where I know how to play these things and how to do it in lower tiers. It's given me a great knowledge of that sort of stuff. Now this is where the interesting part comes in. If we close up the artillery and everything like that, maneuverability. Now maneuverability on this ship is actually quite terrible. I'm going to actually quickly open up the tier 5 line on my line, and I'm actually going to look for battleships. Now here we are. 610 meters is the turning circle with a rudder shift of 5.8. So rudder shift's okay. Go down, let's have a look at the Warspite. The turning circle of the Warspite is 550 with a rudder shift time of 14. So realistically, the Warspite, even with its slow rudder shift, can actually turn a hell of a lot better than the Blyskawica. And this is what actually caught me off guard. I thought it would be quite maneuverable and interesting to play in that regard. Let's have a look at the tier 4. Where's the... here we are. Tier 5 New York. Now the tier 5 New York. Here we go. Has a turning circle of 600. So it turns just as well as the New York battleship. Wow. Okay, so it turns like a battleship in low tiers. It has guns that would probably be, let's hit this, no better than the secondary armaments of the battleship. This is not looking good, and this is This is the sort of the catch thing where you sit there going, why would you play destroyers? Well, you know what, destroyers are quite deadly, and you will see that in my videos of how I play the Blyskawica and how I use terrain and things like that to actually conceal myself, to actually go around and fight against these enemies. So keeping that in mind, the manoeuvrability of it being 610 meters as a turning circle, what has the Manhand got? The Manhand is 560. That's getting closer to what the Warspite is. The Hatsuharu now, I'm pretty sure the Hatsuharu is a much better. So I'll have a look at the Kiev first. Let's have a look at the Kiev first. The Kiev actually has a turning circle of 690, so this thing is terrible. I have no idea how I would go playing the Kiev now that I've seen that its turning circle is 690. Well, I saw it before, but restating this to myself, sitting here going, wow, you've got shit spotting range, you've got shit maneuverability, you've got shit torpedo range. What has this ship got that makes it good? This ship, when I get the Kiev, you know what? I hope it surprises me to what I'm seeing in these stats here. But enough of looking at that, that's just too scary. Let's have a look at the Japanese Hatsuharu. Here we are, Japanese Hatsuharu. And come on, catch up to what I want you to do. There we go. Hatsuharu 580. So you know what? The turning circle's not too bad. They all turn like a low tier battleship in my opinion, like the tier 5 battleship. So, which, you know what? In higher tiers, that's actually pretty good. In the higher tiers, most of those battleships would start to get quite, well, obscure. Let's have a look at the tier 7 Nagato's turning circle. So we'll compare it to a battleship of tier 7. Let's have a look at its turning circle. 770. Okay, so we're about 150, 160 better turning circle. So you get the feel that despite the fact that it turns like a tier 5 battleship, it's still in correlation to the turning circle of something like the Nagato, and I believe it's the Colorado tier 7. It is, I should know that. I've recorded all the video footage for the battles first, and I'm actually playing with Freshmeat. And his battleship, he is in his battleship. Turning circle is 640, so his turning circle is pretty well the same turning circle as my premium destroyer turning circle, but his rudder shift time is about 4 times, 5 times slower than what mine is, so his response to turning is a lot worse, but he can turn fast, just as fast as I can. So this is the scary part about higher tiers, and how difficult it can be, and you've really got to pay attention. If you're playing the Kiev, you know what, you guys are legends out there, whoever plays the Kiev destroyer. I admire the skills and abilities you guys do need to have, and you know what, I know what it's like. I've played American destroyers. I know what you're probably going through to probably get to that stage, and the fact that you've got to suffer even longer through it. And you know what, I hope the Kiev is a great ship, I really do, and I do want to actually get it to see whether it is any good. I have started, I'm up to like tier 3 at the moment, so nowhere near the tier 7 mark like I am the Manhand. Captain skills wise, now as I said, this is a ship I did buy, and I only played it for the few handful of battles, so he's a relatively green captain. I have got concealment 1, which is the situation awareness. I've got the secondary armaments because anything under 150 gets a minus 10% reload time, and the AA becomes 10% more efficient, as well as I've got the torpedo armament expert. In the third line skills, I am going to be going for probably the supply one to increase my smokescreen and my engine boost by 1. Otherwise, I may actually do high alert, which is the damage control reload time minus 10% to the party consumables, which can be pretty good. If so, I would probably also have to do this one, which is 50% repair time to fire extinguishing and recovery from flooding. And in destroyers, you're more prone to sort of these sort of things as well. But I think at the moment, adding the extra smoke screen will come in handy. And then later on, if I do get the chance, last stand will be one of the pick choices for my destroyers. I love having one last stand. You actually see on my captain on the American Manhunt what my setup is currently, and this is pretty well a nice setup. The last stand has pulled me out of a lot of sticky situations, kept me going, and it's been great despite the fact you lose engine power to a certain extent. You lose maneuverability when you lose your rudder, and it does slow things down, but at least you don't have to use your repair to keep going. So, enough said and done about the Blyskawica and its comparison to other ships in the game at this point in time. So, why don't I just take you over now and we'll go watch the battles. As I said, I did record these battles before I did this part, so it's probably in my mind now that I did it probably the back to front way, but I was concerned about the new patch that has been released yesterday, that was 5.2.2. Every time they seem to release a patch, it seems to wig out my recordings, and I was too lazy at the time. I wanted to get this produced for you guys, so I produced those two yesterday, and that took me ages to do. You sit here and you do it and you redo it, you change and tweak things, you make sure everything gets spotted. So yeah, I did this after I've done the videos, but you know what, I still commentated on those videos very well, and I did have a great time with the ship. Do recommend it. As I said at the end of the video, it is a beautiful premium destroyer. Makes you extra credits, helps up your crew farming as well with extra bonuses, and free XP if you want to unlock it using gold. So guys, look, that's probably all I can say in my comparisons. I think the Blyskawica ship is a very nice ship. As you can see, I have got my Season 2 ranked flag up on the top mast there. I didn't actually play rank 2, I just unlocked it recently getting to rank 15, so I thought why not add the extra flag to my flag pole thing on the ship. Alright guys, let's head over and we'll have a look at the first battle that I do play with Freshmeat, and it was great to play with you again, Freshie. If you do watch my videos, I hope to be able to play with you in more games down the track. There probably will be a quick game while I think about it coming up. It will be Magic 2 and my first impressions along with probably Kaz and Rageman. We possibly will be playing that tonight, and I'll do a quick review on my first impressions, and you guys can watch us having a great time and having a laugh, and we'll go from there. So guys, remember, like and subscribe my videos if at the end of this, if you have liked or subscribed. If you haven't liked it, hit the don't like button. I don't really care. All feedback is good and positive. Leave comments if you wish to. My Facebook page is in the link below as well. And let's now watch the videos to come. Okay guys, here we go. The first battle in the Blyskawica destroyer for Polish Nation is on Two Brothers map, as you can see. Probably sorry for the large amount of noise in the background of the video. My partner is actually playing a video is very, very loud, and I've asked him to turn it down several times. Now this was an accidental happy moment as such.
General quarters.
To actually play in accidental happy moment like that. Well, Freshmeat and I, we haven't played World of Warships for quite a long time together. By happy coincidence, he happened to be on just as I was checking a few things. So I said, hey, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. And we pretty much just jumped in together and started playing. He had his Tier 7 Colorado battleship. I'll get the camera face in the right direction, is right behind me. Probably the worst thing that I'm trying to remember this battle off the top of my head. I should have probably, instead of being an absolute idiot like I am at the moment, I should have probably watched the video beforehand. I'm just trying to recap what happened. It's been a large number of weeks since I actually played this battle. So, okay. As you can see, I'm sort of hooking it out a little bit wide and things like this. Now, when I was playing this game, I was actually all of the stats and capabilities of this destroyer, so I ended up playing it more along the lines of American destroyer, which is actually cool. As you can see, Fresh has actually put himself back behind the others to keep himself.
Enemy force detected.
Background. And I'm taking an approach. Looks like I might be going to the other side of the map. I might have called him to go over there. Now, if this is the battle where I'm pretty sure this is the one where I did call him to go the other way, purely and simply because on Two Brothers map I find going on the northern side first. Well, actually it's on the left hand side, the number 1 and 2 side of the map, but coming in from the north, we are on the northern flank, is probably the hardest flank to assault on. I don't know why the southern flank feels to me like it's got a little bit more leeway and cover, whereas the right hand flank of the map, the left-hand side, seems to be a bit more of a balanced area, and I have seen teams do very, very well in this little puppy ship, basically, and I do like it. It's a very, very nice ship. Now, but the biggest problem is Freshie being in his battleship like he is, sailing across from one flank to the other presents its challenges with him being so far behind. He can't get his gun swing. There's only the Margon and the Kaguru, I think it's pronounced, over on our other flank, which means they've got to be in a set up position like they are behind the island in a defensive manner. And the Margi, I think, in my opinion, would be probably too far north. But they've got to be in a defensive position. They've got to hold back when the enemy comes. They would be in the open, whereas vice versa for us sailing across that point on the map, and I'll use the mouse cursor here, sailing through between that island and this point. It's just very exposed, even from this point to this point. It's just so much exposure. Even though they're exposed here, I find they can sneak around here and shoot all this. So basically, we've got to sit back with this room. So we even start. Now, as you see, this is me starting the first thing. A buckle. One hit there.
Torpedoes, dead ahead.
Lost the mark.
Torpedoes, direct front.
As I described in the review as a
Torpedoes, dead ahead.
Dangerous. Look at this. Oh, that was close. Just getting the outside of my hole there. I took that as a big gamble. Now the guns on this perform in such a way where they're actually great to just use in this position where I've got smoke screen cover from my allies and enemies to protect me, and I'm able to shoot through them at targets if they're in my range. Like Fabaki, if he gets bad, is in my range, which is great. It does help out. Now, as you can see, Freshie's just cresting the area map, which means his guns could start bearing on targets, and he could actually do quite well out of this for himself. Now, he's probably come late into the battle, but his ship is probably in a very strong position to actually do some damage. Now, I can't remember, but I know he wasn't real impressed to come this way, but the last battle we played, I was on this ship. I barely did anything. I was over where the Fletcher is, basically, and I felt useless. I just couldn't do anything. Accidentally actually started recording that battle first as an accident a number of weeks back ago when I was trying to set up this review and failed to actually turn my microphone on, recorded like the whole thing, review, and then went back to play it to listen to it and went, oh, so I was a little bit annoyed back then, and I've been tied up doing a whole heap of other things, so yeah. At the moment I'm sort of turning around, as you can see now my AA has still turned on. I vaguely do remember now that I forgot that it was on, and destroyer drivers, this will get you killed if you leave your AA on, particularly in similar ships like this where the turning circuit is so much like Active 7. It's working, it sounds very fun. The plane falling into the ocean is just amazing. This New Orleans, they had everything coming in. They had no torpedoes fighting. Well, imagine I've turned on this. Gun firing targets. They've all just cargo.
Torpedoes to port.
But that's fine. That's fine.
Torpedoes to port.
This is just cool. Turbines on the other side. As you see, I didn't fire
Critical engine damage.
Reporting the position
Main
of
turret
strategic
blown up.
target. We've destroyed an enemy battleship.
Straight lines, no matter what server you're on, it never gets old. As you see, I'm still being spotted by the torpedo bombers left. My secondary is on deliberately to try and further coming in. But Carnell, Cartuzo,
Torpedoes to port.
Dodging these torpedoes here, easily prepared for them. And here comes the next one. Spread I only actually do damage. I slow my ship down, pop my smoke, and accidentally hit my bloody engine. But that's okay. I have now and able to now disappear and hide and get out of trouble. Fresh meat's coming in still, and
Smoke screen set.
Pretty healthy in my opinion as a Colorado, and this could be quite scary. Now, while the action has been going on this side of the map, as you can see, the cargo and the rune and the Margon that was over there has actually
Our team has taken the lead.
Ship by sailing through the open area, but they've actually defended quite well. I would dare say that the Haru aircraft carrier on our side has done a fantastic job by keeping those targets back as well and spotting for them, and the cargo room being destroyed. Probably spotting the Fletcher has also helped out tremendously. What am I doing now? I'm actually hunting down the Haru aircraft carrier. I know roughly where he is because he's been spotted on the map once before. I've probably been spotted by his bomber crew, but that's fine. There is a Fabaki somewhere here too. There we go. The Fabaki is firing on me. Ready, position. Take my time at this. Even though I want 700, I need to make sure that every single shot counts. And he is on. Now look at this. Here comes the torpedo. I've got shells going down. So right. There's torpedoes. I'm absolutely ready for this. He's dropped both of his squadrons, it looks like, now at the same time. No, he's dropped one. So, we do it. Keeping those that face the torpedo squadron and turbine ship. Keep my AA on too. I want to keep my AA on so if he drops the torpedo, like he's doing
Engine
now,
boost deactivated.
I have got all the opportunity and chance in the world to be able to just slip past the torpedo quite nicely. And if I put my AA on and spread out the torpedoes to him now, here we go. Get up around this guy now and basically break his face in my opinion. Radar that has taken another shooting at me but has failed unfortunately. Now here comes the bomber squadron coming in. I have probably auto-selected the bomber squadron, I believe, to actually shoot on them because he's got his fighter squadrons out as well. Need to make sure they can hit. I'm crossing fingers now. Here comes the second squadron. They're going to drop theirs on me. This is showing see the torpedoes don't have a very front, so I've actually got to swing my ass quite considerably around. I fire, spread the torpedoes dead on him. He's not even moving, he's given up. I've now been able to fire my guns at him, and just to fire shells are coming in.
Enemy aircraft carrier sunk.
I am probably still getting spotted with this fire squad.
Our victory is in sight.
Nose facing this Nagato, so that I am going to die, as I say. So this is sort of showing how the ship, despite the fact that it is probably not a great battleship destroyer. That was just unlucky. Nagato nicked the arse in. It's ripped in pieces. What a shame. A shame for such a beautiful ship to sink like this. So, but yeah, that's how I look at it. It is a nice ship as such. You know, Freshie's Colorado now. To finish off this Nagato. And look, realistically, that's probably the best way I've seen the play, using it as an American low-tier destroyer, and you can come off and be quite dangerous. In the end, 41 hits, 5 torpedoes, 3 criticals, 2 ships sunk, 4 fires, and 2 floodings for what I have done, and I've died and successfully assaulted this flank. And you know what? Pointed at the rune and the cargo room on the other flank. They held them back and pushed them back. Than what we did, and it was actually quite impressive to actually see them do that well. So over on the there we go. Quickly do that. Over here on the final screen of the battle, I'm pretty sure I hit pause then, and it didn't seem to work. Well, I was trying to pause it just before it blanked out on me like that. So yeah, the results, as I said, I did complete two missions here with Freshie, and thought, wow, this ship is a lot better than what I imagined at first. And this is before I have actually, and the only time I've actually looked at the stats is by doing this review. And you know what, I should have looked at them beforehand and worked out what this ship was like and what it was capable of. Despite the turning difficulties you have in it being a low-tier, mid-tier battleship, in relation, you can still avoid torpedoes. So even if you did the mistake of what most battleship drivers do, like the Turpins did, and sailed on line and got hit by 3 torpedoes, you can actually come out of this quite well. As you can see, sitting about mid-range, doing 1200 XP in the end on the Blyskawica battleship cruiser thing. Yeah, you can class it whatever you want, in my opinion. Do whatever you want. It's a destroyer. My bad. And as you can see, the unfortunate thing with Freshie coming the way he did only gave him a mere 1,000, and he could have probably done a lot more. But you know what? Overall, the team did an average 1,000 each. There's only one, the Nagato, who did not get the 1,000 XP. So that's impressive team carry all in all. Stats wise, if you like to read any of this sort of stuff, how much damage I did by fire, and 2 HE shells and hits for the torpedoes and all that other mumbo jumbo, there it is there. But you know what, guys, this is just one of 2 of my best battles in this ship, and it's inspired me to keep playing this ship. Even Procrastinate, I know, has picked up this ship and worked out that it is hard to play. You've got to play it like an American destroyer as such, and it works very well. And he's used to sort of Japanese, where you've got nice concealment and stuff to cushion you to a certain extent. So it is a steep learning curve when you haven't played that. So I recommend getting used to the idea of being a lot more exposed, but using your guns as a gunship thing more than anything else. And that's why I class this as probably a light cruiser or a very heavy destroyer. Alright guys, let's go over and let's have a look at the second battle that I am going to use in this review. Alrighty guys, the final battle, and this is an interesting battle. The trap map at the time of actually doing this review, I didn't know quite as well as I could have. But what I did know was the team from the south always seems to capture A and hold A. Generally is the first team to capture B and hold B. Now, this might seem bizarre, strange and rude that this is all you seem to get, basically. Yes, it is quite rude and it is quite nasty at the same time that's what they do. And I always find that the team from the south always seems to win on the trap map. Now, it's not without fail. I have won from the northern flank, but the southern flank seems to have it a bit easier. I don't know why. It feels like maybe they have better cover, better opportunities to sneak up and things like that. Hang on. Oh no, the ship's got its camo. It just looks like a boring plain ship. Okay, but anyway, this is I think the last battle I played with Freshmeat, and I haven't actually played the Blyskica destroyer since. But you know what? I can honestly say that playing a DD and a battleship together is actually very, very, very hard to do. Why is this? Well, you know what? DDs do get a little bit harsher matchmaking, similar to what light tanks get. It's not that nasty, but it can make it harder for your teammates. Now, this is probably the best matchmaking you could possibly get with 1 tier higher. The last battle was 2 tiers higher, which in some ways can be detrimental to other cruisers and battleships. And I don't like playing with myself being a cruiser and say Procrastinate being a destroyer too much, because it makes it difficult.
Enemy force detected.
Oh, yeah, this is not a very good sign. If a Barky comes straight in front of me, I'm in dangerous waters here. Shells flying over the top from the Nuremberg at me. Barky firing me too as he pops out of his space.
Torpedoes, direct front.
Thankfully by the Hatsuharu destroyer. Now the Hatsuharu
Torpedoes
is
to port.
Another torpedoes to port. I'm not seeing torpedoes anyway. The Hatsuharu being a tier 7 destroyer as well. The pick destroyer, as I would say, at this level and at this class. I think the Hatsuharu is probably the destroyer of this tier. Within reason, of course, every destroyer in the right hands is dangerous. But yes, oh no, he's not. He might be just taking pot shots at me being here. I'm actually using the smoke screen of the enemy. Now here we go, an over. Now, really hoping this over was actually going to come out from behind the island and give me the opportunity to, well, face, but this might not be. So I've taken the opportunity. I'm using a smoke screen here. I'm using my smoke screen.
Torpedoes,
and
dead ahead.
firing torpedoes.
Torpedoes to starboard.
And the torpedoes are being fired by my fellow ships. Now the torpedoes are something. No, we can't. It's just going to sit on my ship. It's a bit unfortunate, but torpedoes going into that. Hit the Margon anyway, which is great news for me. One torpedo taking off just over, well, just probably a little bit more than half of his health, which is fantastic. Unfortunate for him, but fantastic for me. I've still got 21 seconds on the reload. That's the only disappointing part. And you know what? Fire my guns at him and get a few more extra. There's another target there I've hit. Excellent. Damn. Serious trouble here. That's fine. torpedo, the Ober that was in front of me. Torpedo, thank you. Probably saved my life.
Our victory is
Sure
in sight.
that at the same time the torpedo was in front of me. And the Ober is actually shooting back. Now I'm actually not being spotted. Now this is where I get caught off all the time. I'm so used to having high tier ships with the sixth sense ability or the situation awareness, as we call it in World of Warships, that it made it harder for me, and I had to be really careful because this battle I realised I didn't have situation awareness to actually combat and fight against my enemies. So I had to basically be very smart. I did actually unlock it on my captain, another crew skill point that I spent straight away in situation awareness to actually bring this ship into alignment, I think. I'm actually recording this before I've actually recorded the actual reviewing bit. I did the same with the other video because I'm a bit concerned that the new patch is coming out, and as soon as I update for the new patch, I'm probably going to lose the ability to do this. I just copy the exe file across. I should just do that and make this so much more simple. But it's just me. Still got one more review to do, which is the Cleveland, which will be coming up very soon after this. And look, this Nuremberg, and I've expended my torpedoes, and I'm in a position where this Nuremberg could shut me down for good. The Nuremberg is a... where is it? I can't read on that.
Torpedoes, direct front.
But I'm in a destroyer, even though I classed this as closely a heavy cruiser class destroyer. I've shot a plane down. I've done what? Nobody shoots a plane down. But I shot a plane down. And we are doing very well. We are holding tight. And this is what I talk about with a fairly open position, with a fairly covered position, feeling very safe. 2 torpedoes and a flooding cause to my enemy. Where is he? Probably the Margon, I would say. I've actually hit it. This is hard. I'm not really capturing what I'm hitting. I'm just sort of firing torpedoes into targets and not actually being able to see. I'm under control with my mouse. There's just too much going on, too many things to follow. Watch these things. I'm firing torpedoes, so I'll go back to this now. Should be watching that actually. That's the way it goes sometimes. And look at this. Freshy's just getting pounded at now. He is the target. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to protect his flank. And I actually said, New Mexico. I said I'm going to go around and protect his flank so this Nuremberg doesn't come up. Nuremberg actually does have, what you would call it, torpedoes. So I had to protect him. Look at this. I said, coming on the inside, you can hit the island. I'm pretty sure I'm warning him there's an island there too, so that he starts turning or something, just in case you didn't realise. I'm getting into a position now, as you can see, getting my torpedoes ready more than anything else. I'm ready to get the hell out of here. What the hell is someone shooting up the island? Someone doesn't like the island. Maybe that was Freshy actually shooting out of it. Rage, Freshy, rage!
Torpedo
Come
support!
on, look at that. Torpedoes were fired, and I would have said that the Nuremberg actually fired those. So as you can see, I'm using the island just as cover here. He hasn't really seen me. He's dropped off my radar. He's back on my radar. Keep hooking right, let's go. Fire. Oh, just in front of that. Oh, in front of my Margie. I did not see that guy. He almost lost him. I was not paying attention to the torpedo of the torpedoes being fired.
Our victory is in sight.
Ooh, a bit hair raising for me. I went, oh crap, at that stage I'm going to kill my own teammate, and then this is just not going to end well for me. But lucky it was, I did not hit my friend. Now, so yeah, as I was saying before, yeah, I'm recording this beforehand because there is a new patch coming out, 5.2.2. Trying to get this out because every time they release a patch it seems to bug out and wig out, and I have problems with the video file footage, so I have to actually save it now. To be honest, I don't actually do a lot more torpedo. I actually use this as a cruiser now. You see, the rate of fire being what it is actually not too bad. So I can actually use this ship now as a cruiser. Rather than a destroyer or a heavy gunship, similar to what the American warship's destroyed the path, and I'm playing up through them. I'm on the man hand now, and doing quite well, but look at this, firing on me, so I'm probably being spotted. He's dead.
Our victory is in sight.
Very much so, and our victory is in sight, which is pretty well accurate. There's only a battleship, 2 battleships and a cruiser left, the Morgami, the Tirpitz, and the New Mexico. So now I'm just like, well, let's bring the pain and just fire and spam HP at the New Mexico. And he is at the maximum of my range. Interesting enough, I'm actually looking at the screenshot and I'm thinking, wow, I still have another 25 hits to go for the end of this battle, and every ship's at my max, just getting one hit at a time. This could take a very long time to actually do. There we go, 2 hits. Let's see how I get this done. So this is pretty much the end of the message. What can I say about this ship? This ship is actually impressive. If you haven't bought the Blyskawica, I actually probably would recommend this as probably one of the better premium ships, despite all the flaws that I've done in this great review that I'm yet to do, which I've already done before. It's still really impressive ship. Big nasty hit there from the New Mexico, as you can hear the sounds muffled out. I'm hoping the actual sound's better. I have adjusted the volume and things like that, so that
Our victory is in sight,
you guys. Still got another 10 minutes to go just about this. I really hope it's not too loud and muffling out my mic. As you see, I'm just using this as a cruiser, just spamming cruiser with the rate of fire of, come on, fire, so I can actually say what it is. No, I'm not going to fire again. Whatever. Be like that then. And this is probably going to be it. I'm pretty sure someone else kills the Wargaming, not me. We might kill him. I might get a spot. I actually wonder whether they're going to bring out the whole like spotting assisted damage in the ships. I haven't really seen much on that in that regard. There he is. And that's the end of this battle. I actually managed to pause it in time. I'm not looking like an absolute idiot. But 58 hits, 45 damage. The green damage as it marks is in my damage counter and mod that I have got. Now I use the Aslan mod. If you want to do it, please get it. Aslan mod. Just Google Aslan's mod for the warships, and it will take you through to the information that you need to actually choose a pick through. I actually might do an Aslan mod review for you guys so you can see what it's all about. There is one for World of Tanks. But yeah, thank you, Freshie. If you do watch my videos, I don't know whether you do or not. It was great playing with you, and I had actually thought me playing a destroyer with someone in the battleship would be actually really hard, and I would probably die and not survive like I have and get the great footage that I did get. And you know what, I feel very honoured to be able to play with someone like yourself. And you know what, when someone like yourself as a great player comes along, it is a completely different feel than playing with other people who are experienced but not like your experience level. And it is a great feeling, and I'm actually pretty honoured to actually say that I'm glad to be able to have the ability to play with you. So I hope you do come back and play more World of Warships and start streaming again. It'd be great, and I'm sure a lot of my viewers on my page would probably agree and like to see you come back. I know your health has been ailing you of late, along with also the marriage to your partner, which I congratulate you on, which does take precedence over a lot of things. But Freshie, it is good to see you out there in the world again, and it would be great to see you coming back and maybe even live streaming for people again and building up your audience. Guys, this is the Blyskawica ship. It is a magical ship. It is a surprisingly good ship. When it comes on sale on the Steam store again, if I don't think it is at the moment, but when it does again, if you haven't got it, do get it. I do enjoy this ship. I think it's a great ship. It has its flaws and disadvantages, but you play it the right way and it will give you everything you dreamed. Oh, before I forget and look like a super noob, let's do the results. Might be a good idea. As you see, 3,600 final, 58, 4 torpedoes, 1 plane. Yes, a plane! 2 shoots a plane down the destroyer, honestly. 2 fires, 2 floodings, and an assistant capture. Damage wise and XP wise, I sat at the 4th place position, which I'm pretty impressed about. That's normally where I aim to be sitting, and I sit generally around there on most games, but XP wise I do really well. Freshie down there at 13, but you know what, I think this was a map where the destroyer was suited to much nicer. I had another battle like on this map that did really well as well. Here's the damage stuff for all those people who would like to see that stuff and things like that, guys. That is it from me. I hope you enjoyed my Blyskawica Polish destroyer. There we go, got it by the end of this review. Ship, I really do recommend this ship. Like I recommend most of the ships I do reviews on. And you know what? Play all the ships in my opinion. Spend money. Go nuts. Who cares? That's it from me, guys. Thank you for enjoying this. Like, subscribe to my YouTube page. Like my videos on YouTube. Pay attention to my Facebook page. Thank you to everyone who pays attention to my Facebook page. It is actually motivating me now to produce videos and get stuff and content for you guys. And I'm going to actually be doing it all over again. I'm probably going to be starting in lower tiers very, very soon. I've got a new friend that has jumped in and I'm going to teach him. And I'm actually probably going to use some of the things I'm going to teach and do it as a live action thing to put on my YouTube page of how I see and instruct him to go through things and do it as a small in-game beginner's guide for World of Warships for all you new people coming in. Outside that, happy hunting, guys, and I'll catch you on those seas.